What's up, people? This is William Jones making videos on leaving religion. The purpose of the videos is to get you to think. Turn your brains on and think, and use logic and use reason and realize that religion is fake. Alright, people, for this video, I think this will be a good one. This will be a good one. Before I begin, please hit the like button on the videos for the sake of the algorithm, to get the videos, shown more when people search for other videos. It'll show up. Hit the like button if you know, especially if you normally watch the videos. And for those of you it might be new, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe. Alright? I'm wearing a new shirt. Got another one here, thinking about starting making the shirts again with some new designs coming up. Had somebody wanted to buy one of the Left Religion shirts, and I stopped during the pandemic. It was hard to get supplies and everything just slowed up, but I might start selling the shirts again. Alright, and y'all see this one that says, won't he do it? Nah, he won't. You will. My daughter asked for one, so I made her one in the pink. So I figure I'd just leave that there, let people see it. Yeah, for this video I want to talk about spirituality, karma, and cognitive dissonance. People always inboxing me, asking me what's my thoughts on spirituality. Are you spiritual? Do you believe in spirits? This always comes up, do you believe in all that stuff? And there are different type of non-believers, or you might call them atheists. I'd rather prefer to be called a realist, because if it's not real, why do I have to deal with it? I'm by default, because I don't believe in any gods, I'm going to be called an atheist, but actually I'm a realist. If it's not real, I don't want to deal with it. I mean, it's just that simple. But some people believe in spiritual things. I'm not one to indulge in those things. I know there's the voodoo and the hoodoo and other, witchcraft, and people deal with that, and they'll talk about the spiritual parts of it, and just not something I've dealt with. I just tend not to mess with it. If I say spiritual, then they want to bring in the Holy Spirit. But as far as for me, I haven't seen spirits to that degree, and even in the Christian realm with the Bible, what spirit was breath anyway. So we all have spirit if you're talking about breath, because once the breath leaves your body, then you're dead. But as far as that breath being some ghost or some type of, I don't know, something that's haunting you, I haven't experienced it. Don't choose to believe in it, because one, I haven't experienced it. Maybe if I experienced it, I wouldn't have to believe in it. I would know it's real. That's the whole thing about it, is people keep going to belief, forgetting that if you experienced it, you wouldn't have to believe it. You'd know it. You're still stuck in belief because you don't know. People are always, so you don't believe in God, and I correct them. I don't believe in any gods. There's not just your God. There are many gods. There are thousands of gods. You were just taught one of them. You were taught your God is the one true God. I don't believe in those thousands of gods, nor your God. So by that definition, I'm called an atheist. In which people want to tack on, well, if you don't believe in gods, what do you believe? Look at the definition of the word atheist. It's a person who matter of fact, where's my phone? Let me just look it up, and I'll put it on the screen to keep things simple, okay? Just so I have the proper definition here. according to this one, who is this anyway? But it says, a person who disbelieves or lacks belief in the existence of God or gods. A person who disbelieves or lacks belief in the existence of God or gods. There's nothing proving their existence. There's no proof of their existence. So why must I believe? Because the majority of people choose to believe with no proof. So if they jump off a bridge, do I have to jump off of a bridge? No, there's no proof of it. Then I don't have to believe it. It doesn't affect my life, believing in one or not believing in one. Well, it affects, if I believe in one, I'm going to waste a whole lot of time doing rituals towards some deity. That's how it changes your life if you believe in him. You a whole lot of wasting time, whole lot of praying to something that there's no proof that it even exists and does not care to share its existence. You know, so you have to look to, oh, well, this happened, that happened. Not gonna waste my time doing that, you know? So, I mean, if people want to say they spiritual, hey, do you. That's what I say, do you. Because that's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna pay your bills. So, in your house, if you say, as far as me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. Hey, that's your house. If you want to serve a Lord that there's no proof of its existence, do it. I don't care. That's your house. As for me and my house, we're going to deal with reality. What's reality? If you live in here, you're going to give up some money to help pay these real bills in this real house, on this real earth. Real stuff. We're not going to sit around waiting on the Lord to pay no bills. Sitting around on the Lord to bring food into the house, put it in the refrigerator and the freezer. Waiting on the Lord to wash the dishes and clean the bathrooms and vacuum the floors. We ain't waiting on no Lord around here to do none of that. No invisible people going to do that. If you live in this house, you're going to contribute to this house in reality, in real time. As for me and my house, we live in reality. You can't prove it. It's not allowed here. We ain't doing it here. I have no pictures or things talking about praise the Lord and so on and so forth. Matter of fact, I do have one thing from my previous apartment. My mother gave me a bookshelf holder, the stone holder that holds the books, and it's made out of stone. It's nice and heavy. So if that bookshelf is not full where the capacity of the bookshelf doesn't hold it, I could put that holder to hold those books there. And it might have John 3:16 on it or something. I don't know. But the irony of that is it's holding a bunch of books against the existence of any gods or teaching on religions or the history of religions. And it's holding books that's totally against what it says. So as far as pictures on my wall, anything else, I don't promote it. Just not my cup of tea, as you will. All right? Karma. People believe in karma. You know, what comes around goes around. I just haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of wicked people live a long time, have done a lot of people wrong, and have lived a long time. You got people, that have done some heinous things, and they're still around. So where's the karma? And then you got some people who haven't done anything to anybody, and the stray bullet hits them, right? The car accident happens to them. Wrong place, wrong time. The sickness happens to them. Where's the karma in it? Where's the karma in something happening when children get cancer or that sudden baby the death syndrome? Or where's the karma in that for someone who enters this earth and has done nothing to no one? Yet people who have done something to a lot of people, nothing has happened to them. And then I had one people say, well, something happens to one of their people. Well, that's not karma to them, that's karma to the person it happened to. Karma is supposed to come back to you. Now, if karma is hitting the people around me, you're still not hitting me. That's like if somebody put a hit on me and you shot the person next to me, they're not going to pay you for the hit because you didn't hit me. If I'm the hit, then the hit has to hit me. And then how can you determine when something is karma? Because we have life. Life happens. Okay, so they smoked cigarettes or smoked Cuban cigars for 30, 40 years, and they developed lung cancer and died from lung cancer. Karma finally came back. That's not karma, that's cause and effect. That's how they got that. Sadly, some people do get secondhand smoke, right? But people can smoke and then get some type of infection in their lungs and die. People can do a lot of drinking and get sclerosis of the liver and die. People can do drugs and have an overdose and die, have heart failure, heart attack and die. But it's a cause and effect. That's not a karma. You know, you go around robbing people, you're a stick-up kid, and you robbing people for their drugs, and somebody finds out it's you, and they roll up on you and shoot you. That's not karma. That's cause and effect. Come on. You robbed the bank and your picture's on the camera, and they come and get you. That's not karma. That's cause and effect. They saw it was you. They're coming for you. Here's the suspect. They showed them, here's the suspect. They come for you. It's not karma. You know, there's a lot of things that just is not what people think it is. And we talked about on the job. I talked with some younger people, and I'm gonna let them know I was talking about them. So you know they're in the video. That'll probably promote them to watch the video. Give me a couple more views. Who knows? But we, you know, had conversation on things. When people hear you don't believe in God, or I played the song for them, the testimony of a Lazarene, about my first experience with the aortic dissection. And when I wrote that song, I was a Christian. So I wrote from the perspective of a Christian and said things as a Christian. Today, I understand the things I said were based on my perspective as a Christian. And I don't believe those things because I understand now that that's not what happened. And the biggest part of that situation was, excuse me, when I had flatlined for 10 minutes and was gone, everybody wants to know, so what did you see? What did you see? What did you see? And I just don't want to talk about it. And it's like, talk about it for what? It was an experience for me. What does that have to do with you? It has nothing to do with you if it was my experience. I don't want anybody building religion off of what I said or basing things off of what I saw, and you don't know if I saw it because that's what I saw, or I saw it because I was drugged up. You don't know. The bottom line is I came back and I'm still here, 11 years later. So other people have had near-death experiences, and they saw this and they saw that, and a lot of what you see is based off of what you've been taught and believed all your life. So you have Muslim people believe they went to the Muslim heaven and saw the things they were taught in Islam. The Christian people believe this. The Jehovah's Witness people believe that. The Hindu people believe this. People see what they saw based on what they were raised in. So to me, it's not a big deal, because to me, true death is not if I'm conscious of what happens after I die, but there is no consciousness at all. That's true death. What did you see before you was born? Nothing. So why would you think you see something after you die? This is your experience in this body right now. This is it. This is your experience. I know people believe in reincarnation. They can believe it. I'm not saying it's not true, but all I'm telling you is this. I mean, for the billions of people that pass through this earth, we don't see a whole lot of ghosts all over the place, haunting people for all the wrong that was done to them. We don't see a whole lot of people coming back from their past lives. It's a whole lot of things we don't see. People came here, they lived, died, and that was it. That was it. But people want to, what did you see? What does it matter what I saw? Because then on the flip side, you'll say that you believe in what you believe based off of your experience. But your experience is not a fact to everyone else. It's just something you experienced it. We could watch the new Batman movie. The Batman, I watched it, 3-hour movie. I enjoyed it. Somebody else could say, I watched it, I didn't enjoy it. We go on the slingshot ride at an amusement park. We could do the ride and one person can get off. From my experience, I enjoyed it. The other person, my experience, I hated it. We hear a song. My experience, I liked it. My experience, I didn't. Experience is not a fact. It's not. And I mean, I don't want to base life off of an experience of the existence of a person. I believe in a person who's never shown themselves based off of an experience. So I should believe in a God all my life because I survived a surgery that other people have survived? That's why I should believe when I was taken care of by trained people? Now, if you told me my situation was what it was, and they said the people at the bus station performed this heart surgery on you and stopped your heart and kept you alive on the back of the bus or the back of the subway, and they did all of this and they had open heart surgery on you for 8 hours and you lived, well, maybe that's a miracle. But if the surgery was planned, or I'm in a hospital where everyone has trained on these things, where is the miracle in this? You don't go to get a tooth pulled and y'all pray on it. Lord, pray the tooth pulling goes well. If something did go wrong, then things go wrong. It's not the devil sitting around pushing buttons, whatever devil you have in your religion. It's not what it is. Things go wrong. Let me get into what I'm about to say about this. The cognitive dissonance is what I want to get into. Check this out. So I was explaining to the people, no, matter of fact, I wasn't even explaining to them what cognitive dissonance is. I said, Google it. Google it. And people be reluctant to Google it because they haven't heard of it and they know it's probably going to go against what they believe. So I had them Google the cognitive dissonance, and the one who I had to Google it was first trying to pre-read it before reading. Now, sometimes I read it out loud. Now, read it out loud. Don't pre-read it and then not wonder. No, just read what it says. Now, what I tell everybody, don't read it to yourself. Read to everybody. If you're talking loud in front of everybody, read this in front of everybody. Read it just as loud as you're talking. So, and I'm going to read it and explain it at the same time. It explains itself. In the field of psychology, that's the one thing I was trying to say. Look, this is what he's saying. What you mean what I'm saying? This is not what I'm saying. I learned about it myself. You didn't Google something from my page. I didn't make this up. This is what the psychologists have done. That's why it starts out in the field of psychology, which I am not in. It says, cognitive dissonance is the perception of contradictory information. Relevant items of information include a person's actions, feelings, ideas, beliefs, values, and things in the environment. That was one definition right there. Now, what does it come down to? It comes down to you say you believe this, but you're also doing that. I believe in being healthy, but yeah, I do smoke cigarettes. And I drink alcohol and all of that, but all in all, I'm still healthy. But your actions are contradicting what you're saying. So that's when people make up excuses in religion. The excuse is, God knows my heart. Because you can say, I love the Lord and serve the Lord and worship the Lord while at the same time you smoke, you do side drugs, you do weed, you drink alcohol, you go to strip clubs, you fornicate, you lie, you steal from work, you know, you might shoplift. I'm just saying but then you'll say, you know, you even got people who stick people up, but I did it because I had to feed my family. That's cognitive dissonance. I love the Lord, but why'd you rob this person for their money? Because I had to feed my family. But it's wrong to steal. And robbing is stealing. But yeah, but I had to. It's a contradiction of what you're saying you actually believe. So normally when people have to protect what it is they believe, they're going to have to say something else to protect what they believe. It's the wall of protection. That is the wall of protection. For instance, one of the people in the conversation said, I believe in God. And then points at me and says, there's nothing you can say that's not going to make me believe in God. And I said, that right there was the cognitive dissonance. You saying I believe in God, cool. But when you say there's nothing you can say that's going to make me not believe in God, that's when you threw the wall up that what I believe, I will not allow it to be challenged. I won't allow it to be touched. Anything that contradicts going against me believing in God, mentally I'm going to reject it. And they thinking I'm saying this to attack them, but this is with everyone. I mean, if you've been out here dealing with people after you've left religion and you talk to people who still believe in religion, you're going to get this same response every time. They're going to say, I don't want to talk about it, because nothing can challenge what they believe. Because when you believe something, belief is not based in fact. Belief is based in belief. That's it. So you have to have a wall to protect a belief, especially when it goes against physics and reality. You have to protect it. Now, I keep telling people, if God was real, because when they say you don't believe, I don't believe any of the gods, right? But if any gods were real, they would not be believed in. We know them. I don't believe President Joe Biden is real. I know President Joe Biden is real. I believe he's real. You know, you don't say you believe real people are real. But if you say, well, is Bigfoot real? Well, I believe Bigfoot is real. Why would you say you believe Bigfoot is real, but wouldn't say you believe Joe Biden is real? Because you see Joe Biden on TV. No one is disagreeing that he's not real because we see him. He looks the same to all of us. We hear the same message from him when he talks. But why would you say you believe in Bigfoot but not know Bigfoot is real? Because every so-called picture is grainy. You don't know what he actually looks like. You don't know if he could talk. You don't know his height. You don't really know anything about Bigfoot, so you'd have to believe it. When you're not sure about something and there's no actual facts, that's when you bring in belief and faith and all that. That's where that comes into play. I believe, and then I believe based on my experience, right? But your experience is not, that's not a fact to the next person. That's not a fact. That's your experience. That's an experience is for you. That's for you. I can't taste the steak you're eating. That's you. You had a good time. That was you. I went to Miami and I loved it. I went to Miami, it rained the whole time. I was getting eaten up by the bugs. It was too hot when it wasn't raining. It's an experience. We don't base it off of that. Factual things. And then this was the trip part, was there's different parts to this, was when they get the definition of cognitive dissonance. And one of them say, well, you have cognitive dissonance because you're not willing to look at it our way. Now, already, you've never heard of cognitive dissonance. You've never heard of it. Now you've just heard of it and have misused the definition of it. That quick. Why? Because yet again, you have to protect your belief. And what I was saying is going to go against what you believe. So you're going to even flip that to say that I have cognitive dissonance for not wanting to hear what you have to say. This is the error in that. I don't have cognitive dissonance because I don't want to believe in something you have no proof of, no evidence of. That's like saying, listen, Santa Claus is real. You're telling me Santa Claus is real. He puts presents under my tree every year. He put presents under everybody else's, a lot of people's trees, a bunch of kids' trees. He put presents under their tree, but you're not willing to hear this. See, you're closed-minded. You don't want to hear what I'm telling you about Santa Claus. Therefore, you have cognitive dissonance. That's totally backwards. If I'm standing on factual things and you're standing on beliefs, but you're not willing to embrace facts because you're more willing to embrace beliefs, that is the cognitive dissonance. That's your wall protecting your beliefs, because beliefs can be challenged and beliefs can easily be taken down if the person drops the wall of protection. All of you watching who have left religion, you know this. You protected your beliefs until you didn't protect them anymore, and then you started questioning. Once you started questioning, you started reasoning. And once you start reasoning, logic is going to come in. And when the logic comes in, that belief will die. Especially when it's not based in reality. A man died. He was killed on a cross in an area that's hot too. He was killed on a cross. He was dead for 3 days and came back on the 3rd day alive and well. Now, in the world of logic, you wouldn't believe this about anybody. Take out Jesus Christ, tell the same story, find me someone that's going to believe that. Please find me somebody who's going to believe that. And then the kicker is, if you read the Bible, after he came back after 3 days, nobody recognized him. So how is he the same person when nobody even recognized his appearance? The story for that is, well, God gave him a new body. Or how about it wasn't the same person? Because you've never seen someone get murdered, killed, not died on an operating table and come back. killed, spear poked through their side, killed, confirmed dead after hanging up all day, and then coming back 3 days later and don't even look like the same person that died. Now, logic would tell you this can't happen. This doesn't happen. Now, cognitive dissonance to a believer will cause them to explain it. Well, it's going to start like, see, what you don't understand is, it's going to start with that, then it's going to go in the fairy tale world. Jesus wasn't an ordinary man. He was the Son of God. He was also God too. So that's why, and see, even the answer is going to not even make sense. The answer is not even going to make sense because you can't logically explain these things. It doesn't make sense. Lot. I'm veering off for a second with factual things. Lot, when he left Sodom and Gomorrah, and his wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt because she obeyed the man that said don't look back. So the woman turned into a pillar of salt. That's nonsense. Lot continues on with his two daughters because they think the whole world has ended because this so-called raining down of fire and brimstone only happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. That would make you think about the Noah flood. You thought the whole world flooded because it flooded where you lived? You didn't have CNN and all type of news outlets where people with airplanes, helicopters, ships who could go out and tell you what's going on. Like if you was in New Orleans, when it flooded to you, that would be, oh, the whole world is flooding. And we know, I was watching on dry land like, wow, you know, Louisiana flooding. But that would go with the Noah story. You think the whole world flooding, and it's a fictional story too. But your area is flooding. People could write a flood story. Come back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is being destroyed where Lot lives. His wife turns around, turns into a pillar of salt. So Lot continues with his two daughters. They go, they live in a cave. The two daughters, the oldest daughter says to the younger daughter, since we the last ones on earth, we have to procreate. So how about we get our father drunk, and the first night, I'll sleep with him and conceive. And they did that. In the second night, the younger daughter will get him drunk, and she'll sleep with him and conceive. When we know in reality, if you're going to sleep with your daughter, you are some type of pervert. And if somebody could get you so drunk to sleep with your daughter, you're still a pervert. But if you are that drunk to not even recognize it's your daughter, physically, you could not get an erection. So back-to-back nights, in a person of Lot's age, he would have been hung over from the first night, because if y'all in a cave, where are you getting wine? You need something to eat. You're going to need some water, some Gatorade, something in the morning, because he's going to be hung over from that first night. If he was so drunk that he had sex with his daughter, not knowing it was her daughter and impregnated her, how drunk would you have to be if you're not a pervert? But then come back, and then come back the second night and sleep with the other daughter. Stories, you understand? So when these stories get challenged, that wall has to come up where they have to protect what they believe. So let me get back to the conversation. So I'm having a conversation with these young people. Mind you, they are 20, 21, 22, 28, and amazingly, the one that's 21 is saying, hold on, but you're not listening to me. And I'm saying, I've been where you've been. And not only have I been where you've been, I was deeper than where you've been. So whereas you believe there is a God, and that's it, I believed in the whole Bible and was deep into it, torturing my own family. Can't have Christmas, Halloween, Easter, can't celebrate nothing. Don't bring any weird symbols in my house. I was just like going with it, super deep with it. But mind you, that person is 21 saying you're not listening to me when I'm telling you, look, I got out of it when I was 44. That means I've lived more than double your life when I got out. So that means you got to live a whole nother your life plus a couple years just to get to the point where I got out. Now I'm 50 and you 21. Anybody out there gonna tell me you 50 and they 21 and you've been an ordained apostle, taught in churches, rapped it all that in the churches for years, super religious, and now they're telling you fresh out the gate, but you're not hearing what I got to say. And everything they say, I already know. Basically, I already know what you're going to say. Nothing is new under the sun. It's the same conversation. The same conversation is going to be the same reactions. I can let them talk and explain, okay, and then as soon as I start talking, I get cut off. Why? Because your wall is going to come up and I'm saying things that are new to you, that are foreign to you, which also makes you question your belief. That can't happen. That's what the cognitive dissonance is. It's not going to let those beliefs get challenged because beliefs are fragile. Because beliefs aren't backed by any facts. So beliefs can't be touched. They can only be believed. And that's why believers like to be around other believers, because nobody's going to ask any questions to shake up the world of their belief. Anytime any pastor comes out and says anything new to the people leading them out, the devil got his mind, cut him. They'll cut that pastor off and stay believing what they believe. You know what? When I say the mind can't go to what it doesn't know, let me give you an example of this. My son and his wife brought his daughter and my 2-week-old grandson over to the house. We had a get-together on Father's Day, right? So he's crying, he's hungry. They break out the bottle got a little bit of milk in it. I'm thinking this must be a bottle he didn't finish. He drank the bottle, we burp him, he's sitting there a little while, he starts crying again. Dang, why is he crying? He just ate. Break out a bottle, got a little bit of milk in it. And at first I was like, so why is this little bit of milk in these bottles? Oh, he only gets 2 ounces. Do you know why he's crying? Because he's hungry. I don't know who told you 2 ounces of milk. That's not the standard for every child. There is no standard of what you give every child. You can have different types of children. When I had the twins, and one of them was 5 pounds, 9 ounces. The other one was 6 pounds, 6 ounces. The 5 pound, 9 ounce one did hardly ate anything and went through about everything she had. She drank very little. The 6.6 one would drink a bottle and a half. Then, it wasn't even a year later, we have my son, my youngest son, the one who brought the grandchildren over. He was 10 pounds, 5 ounces. Do you think he's going to drink what they was drinking? This boy came out 10 pounds, 5 ounces. He was hungry. You can't, see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You can't tell an infant, a newborn, well, they just told me to give you 2 ounces and you'll be good. then he's going to cry. And there's nothing you're going to do about that until you feed that boy, until you've satisfied his hunger and he stops crying. So I was like, man, put some more stuff in that bottle and feed this boy. He's growing. He's fresh out the womb. He's growing. He's going to eat a lot. These parents know when these kids home from school, when the pandemic happened, what were they crying about? These kids home all day. They eating up everything. Because when they're growing, I know especially boys, they eat. Man, I remember my youngest son, he would eat your leftovers if you didn't eat them. And he'd eat you if you stopped moving long enough. You got to feed these kids. They want to eat now. So I'm like, I don't know what they're telling you, but you're not going to teach a 2-month-old that you're going to get 2 ounces and be good with that. Okay, then don't feed him anymore. And I'm going to tell you what he's going to do. He's going to cry non-stop. Unless he falls asleep, he's going to keep crying because he's hungry. His brain is not prepared for you to teach him this is all you getting. Children don't know that, especially a 2-week-old. So I'm saying that to say this. With grown people, if you've been trained something all your life, and even about deities that have never been proven to you, I can't take you to a place outside of that. Only you can do that. No one can take you there. You have to be willing to take yourself there. And once you go there, then you will have an actual yearning to want to learn something. Because I'm telling people, look, you're not ready to learn. How do I know? Because you want to do all the talking. How can you want to learn something while doing all the talking? That means you're telling what you know. The teacher doesn't need to know what you know. You need to know what the teacher knows. Some people, they go to college classes, they come in the room, and the professor sits there and talks and teaches, and he don't know what you know. Because that's not why they paid him. It's not why your parents paid all that money, or whoever paid the student loan. It's not why it was paid. It was paid for you to come get what the teacher has. They have the degree. You have to get what they have to expand you. They don't have to know you. Now, if they want to engage with you, they're only engaging with you because they might want to see what you know, only to still take you further because they are teaching you. When I'm learning, when I was in church and I was learning, while they, amen, amen, I wouldn't say a thing. Why? Because I'm listening. I can't learn when I'm talking. I learn when I'm listening. You got one mouth, 2 ears. So when I learn, I shut up and I listen. You don't read a book while talking at the same time. Either you're going to read the book or you're going to talk. You're not going to read and be talking, because then you're not going to learn it. So you'll know when people are ready to learn, because when they're ready to learn, they're going to stop talking. And that's how I know the difference in people when they want to know something. They're not trying to out-talk me. Okay, well, let me ask you this. And then people will sit around and they're only waiting for you to stop talking to answer. When they answer, as soon as you stop talking, they wasn't listening in the first place. They already got the wall up. And they just want to talk to strengthen their belief. And I'm not even saying this about the group I was talking with, at work. I'm saying this talking about all of them. You can see the look in their eye. They tapping it. You finished? when they say, you finished? That means you ain't heard nothing I said. You're ready to debate and you're ready to argue. When you're ready to learn, we're not debating. You let the teacher teach. And you listen. You listen. Like I would play, say I'll play a certain KRS-One song for somebody, and I'm like, check this joint out, all right? And the beat playing, and he start rapping, like, yo, hey, K, hush! Ask questions after the song. Because if we're supposed to be listening to the song, you're not learning if you're asking questions while the song, wait till the song is over. Then ask the questions. We could do that. Why you think churches, all that is set up? They're not set up, the pastor's not giving a message where you asking questions going back and forth. No churches are set up like that. For what they're telling the people to strengthen their beliefs, to keep them locked in beliefs, it's not set up for interchange. It's not set up so you come into church and you, hey pastor, let me ask you this. No. Everything comes from that stage. If you got something to say, it's amen, hallelujah, or put your money in the plate. That's all you got to say. There is no back and forth exchange. That's not a class. They're going to indoctrinate you with the religion while you sit there and listen. But then when you talk to somebody one-on-one, they're going back and forth with you. Which is why my channel, I deal with people who have come out of religion. Because if you've come out of the religion and you found my channel, that means you're curious. You're tapped out. Hey, I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. I just need to hear something, and maybe you stroll onto my channel and you heard a video, it was like, wow. Okay, and you couldn't go back and forth with me. Why? Because you was listening to the video. And chances are you got something out of it. You got something out of it. You don't listen to an audio book and go back and forth with the audio book. The audio book is talking and it's not going to respond to you. The audio book is going to read as it was recorded. So you'll always know when people are ready to learn. And I talk to different, and I can tell, because when they sit there, they're just like, That means they're taking in new information. That means they're expanding that circle of belief. Now, that circle, and the belief is in there, but you're injecting something new into it. And it's expanding. And sometimes there can be a crack in that belief, or they call it a chink in the armor, from back in the day when they had the links on in the armor. And if there's one place that was weak, and if they stabbed it with a spear or something and it broke, you still got stabbed. So sometimes there's a chink in that armor. And I know for me, when questions were asked and research was done, I found quite a few chinks in that armor. And then I know from years of doing this, when you're dealing with people and you're coming at them with, let's say, knowledge, you're like, okay, I've read some books on it. I read this person's book. I read this scholar's book. I read that scholar's book. He's, one in historian, or one in archaeology, or could be in theology, and you come at them with things that people who have spent their lives learning this stuff, only for their whole argument to be, well, I believe, or my experience is. That's all it ever is. I don't care who you talk to. It's going to be those two. There's nothing else. When it's based in belief, it's going to always be, well, I believe, and my experience is. Because people who say, well, they'll start quoting the Bible, If they quote the Bible and you start quoting the Bible and they see you know more about the Bible than they do, because chances are, if you've left religion, you more than likely, if you read that whole Bible, you more than likely you coming up out of there. But after they done quoted the popular little passages and they see you know more stuff than they know, then they're gonna leave the Bible because they say I can't use that because they know that. So I got to go to my safe place. I got to go to the place that they can't touch because it's personal. And where's that place? I believe, in my experience is, there's no books for that. There's no research for that. That's personal for them. I believe, in my experience is. Now, if they were serious about it, then they would actually study some things and you stop protecting what you believe and you can receive any information. When you can't receive information based on your belief, that's cognitive dissonance. You're trapped in a box. You're trapped in a box and you're missing out on so much because you have to protect your belief. When you see what the scientists have said about the way the universe could have came together, the way the earth could have came together, the way the moon, the sun, all these things could have came together, but all you hold on to is what the Bible said. In the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth, and God said, and God said, and so your final answer is what God said. Then you're never going to learn anything. Never going to learn anything. Because we don't have inventions based on people who gave up at God did it. If you're watching this video, you got to be watching over the internet. The people that invented the internet did not give up at just think, well, God did it. Because you wouldn't have the internet. The camera I'm recording it with, the lights that I'm using, all of these things, the app you're using, none of these things would have came about if they would have gave up on, well, God did it. Nothing. No sicknesses would be healed. Transportation, housing, all types of things, they wouldn't have, these things wouldn't have happened if people just settled for, well, God did it. Because the fact of the matter is, no, God did it. Won't he do it? No, he won't. You will. When the plagues was killing the people and the church was ruling the world during the Dark Ages, 500 years of the Catholic Church ruling the world won't allow people to do anything because they figured it's God doing it. So the Dark Ages, because we didn't move, it's like if you okay, here we are. I know when I get back 500 years later, there's going to be so much technology, so much change. Y'all cryogenically freeze me, and I come back 500 years later, and I come back 500 years later, and nothing has changed. Why hasn't anything changed? Because they're satisfied with saying, and God did it. At what point do y'all realize no God is going to do anything for you? I want to be successful in life. Then you going to do it. If God did it, everyone would be successful. If God did it, there would be no world hunger. If God did it, there would be no sickness. If God did it, there would be no diseases. If God did it, there would be no accidents. There would be no need for hospitals because the accidents wouldn't happen. If God did it, we don't live in a real world of what God did, because no God has done anything and won't do it. It will never happen. Coronavirus happened. God had first dibs on everything. Here you go. What, Mohammed, Yahweh, Shiva, all of them, Zoroaster, all of you, this is your chance to shine. Somebody, one of these thousands of gods can show up and show out and get us out of this pandemic, and we'll all be like, wow, my God didn't do it, but that God did it. Man, he did it. Not one God surfaced. Church is closed. And everybody waited on the scientists. Everybody was waiting on what the scientists had to do. Because we know good and well, ain't no God gonna do jack. And then when you believe in a God, I was telling them, like I was saying, look, when you believe in a God, you have to weave God into all your stories. You got to weave God in there, right? For instance, okay? House gets shot into. Nobody gets hit. Look how God protected them. God protected them. No, 50 shots went in the house, nobody got hit. God protected them. Okay, 50 shots hit the house, 2 people get hit. One get hit in the leg, one hit in the arm. Look at it, 50 shots, one got hit in the leg. Look how God did. They ain't even die. God be protecting. Same scenario, 50 shots shot in the house, 2 people get killed. God called them home. It was their time to go. When this God is imaginary, you can change the God up to be whatever you want it to be in every situation. Well, no matter what the situation, you can change the God narrative because the God isn't real. So that way you can make it what you want to be. Oh, and there's a job out there and you apply for the job. You don't get the job. Well, yeah, you get the job. Look at God. God got me the job. Only for that to be the same job you'll be complaining about later when they ask you to come in to work later than you want to come in to work and do things you don't want to do. Then you complain about the same job. But at the beginning it was God gave me this job. Hold on. Hey.
I know you still doing it.
I've been told you that. Go ahead, hit the alarm. Same scenario. You go to get the job, you don't get the job. Well, God will open up a door somewhere else for you. The situation is going to change every time. They're gonna use it depending on what situation they want to use it for. Any situation, this thing is going to change. Let me think of another one. Shoot. I done say that was somebody that, yeah, you barely miss a car accident. Oh, look at God. You get a fender bender. Oh, God, the car, but nobody got hurt. Somebody gets hurt but don't die. Oh, God protected them. They live. They're going to be all right. And if they die, God called them home. It's always a way to weave the God in and out without making the God truly accountable of anything. And then I never understand what's the point after the situation has happened. We're praying for you. What are you praying for? The deed has been done. It's done. What are you praying for? I don't believe in a God, any gods, so I have no need to add them into what happened in my stories. If we don't know what it is, people tend to call that a miracle. And it's only a miracle until you can explain it. That's what they call. They call things they can't explain miracles. And then one day somebody comes along and explains it, it's no longer a miracle. Lightning is no longer a miracle. Earthquakes aren't some miracle. We don't need gods of earthquakes, gods of lightning, understanding when tectonic plates shift. We don't need gods for this. There's no, we don't need it anymore. Because as we advance, the gods die. Now the Christian God has evolved so much that they've made this God everything without the God doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Everything people do, they do. They'll tell you, they'll have a successful business, and they'll sit there and tell you how, and then somebody else say, I want to have a successful business. And they're like, well, what have you, did you make phone calls? No. Did you pound the pavement? No. Did you do this, do that, and do that? No, I didn't do that. So you ain't work hard. That's why your business didn't make it. I'm gonna tell you all the things I did. I barely got any sleep. I got up early and went to bed late. I called all these people. I was rejected this many times. I did all this walking. I did all this traveling. They'll tell you all the things they did versus the person who didn't do it. Then how can you say in the end, God did it? You just told how you did all the hard work, and that's what made the difference. The difference was you did the work. Because if it was just God did it and you're all his children, even that child should have had a successful business being the child of that God. But the fact that you had to put in all the work shows it's not about what you believe, it's about what you do. One, you got two people, both of them, in their opinion, are overweight, and they both want to be in shape. And one joins a gym and goes 5 days a week and do the cardio and lifts and eats right and get proper sleep and drink a lot of water, take vitamins, and the other one wants to lose weight, continues to eat the same way, barely gets any sleep, never exercises, and you come back a year later and this one is fit and the other one isn't. What was the difference? God didn't do it? What was the difference? Why did one get in shape and the other one didn't? We're going to say that was God? Or one person put in the work? People don't understand that, and look, like I told you, it is impossible to reason reality with people who are going to believe God does everything. There's no need to have a conversation. Because I have done it, and I keep telling myself, stop doing it. Do it on Facebook. I'm still in Facebook jail now for making comments, and I know they put me in jail because the people doing it probably Christians. Always in Facebook jail for no reason, for telling the truth. And no matter how many of these conversations I've had them for years, they will not listen to logic and reason. They can't do it because if they do, it's going to shake up the whole fabric of their belief system. They can't do it. So even when I was talking with the ones on the job, I got to a point I said, you know what? I'm not talking about it anymore. Oh, he's mad now. He's mad. No, I'm not mad. I had to realize this is an impossible situation. You're not able to receive what I'm telling you. You're not able to receive it. You have to get to the point yourself. You really have to wait till somebody comes to you and say, hey, I really want to know this. Then you can talk to them. But then when you're just talking to them, it's not the same. It's like when you give somebody something versus when they earn something. They're just not ready to receive it. They can't do it. What has it been now? 6 years. 6 years I've been doing this. I even watched online. Y'all know Matt. What's Matt last night? I can't remember right now. With the atheist experience, where people call in and you listen to it, and they always call in and they'll say, "I have proof for God," and him and the girl, they'll be like, "Okay, go ahead." Like the Bible says in Matthew, it's like, oh. And then when they try to talk to the people, they won't answer the questions. They instead of answering the question, they divert to something else because everything Matt and them hit them with, it goes at their belief, and they have to protect the belief, so they can't answer the question. Because if you answer the question and you're admitting that what you're believing is wrong. I've heard them. They will justify rape. Well, according to God, He's in control. They will justify rape. When you justify rape to justify your belief, there's a problem. There's a serious problem. You will justify doing, Abraham, he had Abraham kill his son, right? But it was God asking him to do it. And he tell Moses, no, he writes down, "Thou shalt not kill," and then Moses comes right down the mountain with the same tablets and kills 3,000 people. But God said to do it, so it's not wrong because God said it. Thousands of people got killed in those Bible stories, and they will not say it's wrong because, God said to do it, and He's the giver of life. So he's the epitome of, don't do what I do what I say. If you compare the Old Testament with the New Testament, because in the New Testament, Jesus says at the end of Matthew chapter 5, "Be ye perfect also as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." Now He's perfect, and all that murder and sacrifice that was done in the Old Testament is like, forget about that. This is where we are now. You're supposed to learn things. Proverbs tell you, in all you're getting, get understanding. That's what Proverbs says. Hosea 4:6. This is a good one. When it says, and people keep saying it wrong, "My people perish for lack of knowledge," and they end it right there. "My people perish for lack of knowledge." When it actually says, and I'm going from the King James Version, because some of these newer versions are new, it says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you." Now notice, according to the passage, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Why do they have a lack of knowledge? Because you rejected knowledge. Not that the knowledge wasn't there. It was there, and you chose not to take it in. So because you didn't take in the knowledge, now you will be destroyed. And that happens today. You don't want to graduate high school. You don't want to learn a trade. You don't want to learn how the system works. Then you're going to pay. Your credit score is horrible. You're going to pay a higher interest rate. You're going to be destroyed for your lack of knowledge. You hard-headed while you young, and you do all type of criminal acts, and then when you get older and find out you got to get a background check and find out you can't get a job because your background check came back when they was telling you when you was young, don't do these things. Now you got these felonies on your record, and now it's hard for you to get a job because you didn't want to you rejected the knowledge. That's just that's the way of the world. I want to buy this car. They want to charge me $750 a month for a Toyota Corolla. Because my credit score is a 450 or 500. Well, that's on you. Get your credit score up. Save your money, do what you got to do, get it up. File bankruptcy if you need to file bankruptcy. I mean, take the hit and bounce back. Follow some of these pages with the people that's teaching you what to do to get your credit scores up, to get your things in order. Get knowledge, and all you're getting, get understanding. The Bible be telling the people to learn stuff. And then when it's time for them to learn something, they turn away from everything that there is to learn. When the world is not following that Bible. It's not following that Bible. And the irony is, in the very beginning, with the second creation story, not the one where they created male and female, he created them, not chapter 1, but in chapter 2, the Adam and Eve story, and the woman ate the fruit, and it says that, they had the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then the Christians will say today, oh, well, you don't believe in God, so you have no moral compass, so you don't know what's good and you don't know what's evil. Well, by that standard, Adam and Eve didn't know until they disobeyed and ate the fruit. Then they did know what was good and what was evil. But you see how contradictory this is? You'll sit there and tell people they don't know what's good and what's evil, but you inherited the same sins of Adam and Eve because they ate the fruit, which let them know what was good and what was evil. Contradictory all the way around. So I've been talking a long time on this video. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I know some are going to enjoy this, the length of it, especially going to work. And like I said, people, look, there's no point really in engaging in people until they come to, if they truly want to learn and come to you, you'll know because they'll listen. All right, this one dude on the job, he's not there anymore. He would just come to me and just mouth closed. So you always teach me something. You always teach me something. But he listened. He was like, dang, I hadn't even thought about that. Always took him to a new place because he wasn't trying to debate me on what he knew. He wanted to know what I knew. That's what I do. When I go to people, if I want to learn something from somebody, I go to their channel, I go to them in person. If I'm going to them, I'm reading their book. I can't be out talking them when I'm trying to learn from them. I'm not saying you have to accept what somebody is teaching, but you don't know what it is if you're not listening. You gotta listen. That's the key. You got one mouth and two ears. So listen and learn. That's the whole point of this. So let me end this video, and again, like the video. Now you done heard the whole video. If you liked it, then like it. Give me that. At least like the videos. Share the videos somewhere. Share it somewhere. Share it with somebody. Share it on another platform. Share the videos. And subscribe if you're not subscribed, so I can change my algorithm and get some views on these videos and expand them out, especially if you really enjoyed it. And so I will see y'all on the next video. Remember, won't he do it? No, he won't. You will. Peace.